So this is my next project in this house. Watch the water at the toilet bowl. You see that? And that's what's happening. So I need to resolve this problem. And there's a gasket right here with screws on either side there. I don't know how to do this, so I'm just doing this on the fly. So the first thing I want to do is turn off the water supply, of course. Sorry for the lighting, folks. Water off. The next thing I'm going to do is completely flush this toilet and make sure the water is all out. There, you see it going again. And again, I don't know exactly, sorry for the lighting, I don't know how to do this. I got an old towel that I'm going to use to. So this is what I bought a moment ago from Home Depot. So hopefully this 2-inch tank to bowl gasket with back in and let you know what I learned so far, since just simply removing the nut and washer. So I'm in front of the toilet bowl. This one is on my right hand side and this one is on my left hand side. And remember when I flushed the toilet, how the water appeared to come out of the left hand side more so. The spill that did show up on the when I flushed it that time to get the water out of the bowl. Well, look at the wear and tear, the rust that proves that the compromise was on this side. And so there's a leak that's on the my left hand side. So I just barely slid this side up the shaft of the screw and just gave it a slight turn. So that tells me whenever I'm reinstalling this, I don't want to put it ever so tightly. I just want to barely put a snug against it, and I want to utilize the washer, especially the rubber washers that come in the new kit. So just wanted to point that out to you. And once again, this is a number 13. And once again, whatever this might be called, I don't know. My dad would be like, you know what this is called, because this is his. This is something that I got from him. So thanks a lot, Dad. All right. So I'll bounce back in. Let me get the tank off and I'll show you guys what that looks like in a little bit. But give me a moment. I can't hold the phone and do this at the same time. So I'm coming in periodically as I accomplish each phase of doing this. So in the kit, it came with these washers and it came with the bolts and the nuts. came from. It came from me installing the new washer, bolt, and metal washer, the plastic and metal washer. This is correct. The way that I did it here is correct. The part that I didn't do accurately was installing the same setup right here on the opposite side, which I did. The part that I didn't do is right here. One of the bolts, because one of the nuts was supposed to be inserted against the tank, and then I could reinsert this whole tank into the flange and reattach the nut, the washer nut on the opposite side again. So that's what the extra is for. So it's not necessarily extra, just to make sure of a certain water seal. So this is what I have to do. I have to disconnect the tank again from the bowl, and I need to do that accurately. I'm going to take you along with me. So once again, excitement so short-lived, but I am up for the challenge and I know that I can resolve this. How did I learn this? How did I learn this? I went back to the instructions on the packet, the gasket packet. So let's get that done. Give me one moment. Let me get this bowl off of this tank off of the toilet bowl. I'll be right back. One moment. All right, so I'm back and I removed the tank from the toilet bowl again because my washers and nuts were not done accurately. So this is the correct way. You're going to have the bolt, then the plastic washer. We're going to slide the bolt and washer into the tank, and we're going to put another washer behind it. All right, so let's do that. So this is the way that it should look. It might be upside down. Let me do this. So this is the way it should look after we did it correctly. All right, just 1 second. So again, sorry for the lighting and sorry for the angle, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like when it's done most accurately. So against the bottom of the tank, you're gonna have a plastic washer, then the metal washer, then the nut against the bolt. And now I'm going to snug this, but be ever so mindful not to snug too tightly because I don't want to crack my bowl, the tank, excuse me. All right, so I'll do that and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. Let me turn my fan off because it got a little warm up in here, and set the easier to work in a small enclosed environment. So look, the last thing I need to do is place a washer, the metal washer, and the nut, and being ever so mindful not to tighten this thing too much because I don't want to crack my bowl. Remember, there's already tension on there from the initial bolt and washer and screw combination. So give me a moment and I'll be right back. We'll flush this thing again and see if we still have a water leak. Turn this on again. And observe for water. I'll come back if I have anything that looks like a water leak. Okay, so I've stood here for about the last minute or so, and I don't have any water leaks at the top where the toilet tank attaches to the bowl. And when I look underneath here, I don't have anything by way of water dripping from the bolts. And so it may appear that changing the orientation of the washers and bolts on, the washers and nuts on the bolt here once again, but It's just the back area of the toilet there with the bolt. And I don't see, and whenever feeling for any residual or any water, I don't feel anything. Even the bolt is dry and I don't feel anything by way of water on the bolts itself, and I don't see anything on the floor, and I don't feel any moisture. So the next thing to do is to flush this thing and see if I'm still getting a water leak when I flush it. So apparently the issue that I have is whenever I flush this toilet, water would come out this area right here, and that led me to change the gasket that sits between the tank and the bowl. So I'm hesitant to flush it because I don't know. I guess all I have to do is flush it now. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and flush it a little and see what happens, and you'll see with me. So again, upon flushing, just like the first time, I didn't have any water escape the tank. It took a while for it to come, actually. I want to say at least a minute or so. So I'm going to give it some time to show for certain whether or not the seal is created by simply reorienting the washer combination with the nut. And I shared that with you a little earlier. So the first time I was elated to say that I didn't have any leaks, but I didn't give it this much time to wait to see what would have happened. Now let me say this, I did take a small break after reattaching the toilet tank to the toilet bowl, and I went and had some lunch, and that was about maybe 15 to 20 minutes like that. So the bowl sat in the new orientation with the nuts and the bolts and the washers for that time. So maybe that could have done it also, and not be so quick to put water against the new orientation, allow it to fully get a seal against those little components like that. And so here I am with you, and we're not seeing any water escape the tank at this point. Next, I want to check. I want to inspect the bolts themselves, because that was another problem area where the water was dripping off of the bolts. And I could say for certain that I don't have much, but I do feel some moisture. So give me a second. Let me just dry my hands and check again. No, that might have been from earlier. I don't feel anything. Sorry about the lighting. And I'm gonna check the other side. I don't feel anything. So after waiting several seconds, or at least a couple minutes with you, I don't have any water. I don't have any water on the threaded part of the bolts. I did have that earlier, and I was too elated too soon. And I don't have that now. Also, I don't have the water seeping out the tank. And I did have that earlier when I was elated a little too early. So this time I can clearly say, and you can witness with me, that I believe the issue with this part is resolved. But I did notice something else, and I'll let my camera catch up with us. I did notice something else, but this is a different problem. Behind the toilet, and I may have to, the lighting is not good enough for you guys to see it, but behind the toilet, right where that grout line is, right there. And it may just be from the work that I've done so far and the water that did fall right here. It may just need to be resealed or even just allowed some time to dry. But I did find that this grout line was highly discolored. I'm sorry, I'm not even showing it to you. This grout line was highly discolored. Like, it's very dark compared to other areas. For example, this grout line, which is much lighter. So what I'm going to do with this is give it a couple of days, let it dry out completely. I have a fan in here. I'm going to let it dry out completely, and I'll inspect it again. Now, my thinking is I may just have to replace this toilet, or I may have to replace the wax seal. Maybe I have a wax seal that's going out. I don't know. But that's something else. These bolts right here that attach the toilet to the floor, that's all I would need to do is remove that, and of course turn the main water supply off and take the toilet up and change the wax seal out and see if that resolved the issue. If this doesn't dry out and become non-discolored as it is showing now. And it could be that the seal that's on the grout, it's just, needs to be redone. Could be that the contractors never really sealed this area, never really sealed behind the toilet. And that does happen. You have some contractors who really, it's not their home and they're looking to get in and get out, get paid. So, but nevertheless, folks, thank you so much for following along with me. It appears that this problem is resolved now, and my half bathroom downstairs can now be used, and I can go ahead and replace the fixture, this cover to the tank. So again, thank you so much for watching, and thanks for tagging along. Never did this before, never repaired this before, so if I can do this, you surely can. It is a learning experience once you take your time and figure out those things that are necessary for you to understand, especially just getting knowledge on it. Search YouTube, go to the Home Depot or other big box stores in your area, and just take the time to learn it for yourself, because I'm going to post in my area some of the going prices for a plumber to come in. Now, I do have a home warranty plan on this home. But get this, I have to pay $75 for the plumber to just first come out and look at the issue. That is not fixing anything. He's just coming over to inspect and collect. That's $75. Now, whether or not the total job will be covered by the warranty, it's to be seen, because warranty plans have some coverages and some things that are not covered under the plumbing. So it's always a hit or miss. Rarely do you get the entire job in its entirety to be covered. So I didn't want that experience, and besides, I needed to learn how to do this because I have another project that I look to be working on soon that will require basic plumbing, and I thought this was pretty basic enough. So keep in mind, this is called sweat equity. So you'll have that going into it, and guess what else? You'll have the knowledge that will never be taken from you whenever this comes upon you. If someone may have this same issue, you can share or impart something to them about how easy it was for you to repair it and fix it. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This is Sonia saying thank you for watching, and bye.